This landing page is originally designed by the Design Sense in Adobe XD. You can visit this channel. I will provide the link in description. And here you can see this design is here in these videos. In this video, we will implement this design in React. So let's start the tutorial. So here I am just making a simple React app by npx create react and then app, and name will be just the music app. Definitely it will depend on your internet connection. So I will write back when it will install itself completely. So here my app is installed completely, and with installing I have also cleaned all the extra stuff that comes with the default React app. So we just have app.css blank app.js with this text I am here, and it is showing in our browser like this, I am here. And then index.css is also blank, and index.js with just the default format. It's time to set up the Tailwind CSS with our project. So here I am at the Tailwind CSS website that says install Tailwind CSS with create React app. So I will just simply copy this text from here and paste it in our terminal. So I'm making another terminal and here just pasting this. Okay, the Tailwind CSS package is installed now. We need some more settings. So here we just copy this all text from tailwind.config.js and inside our directory, cleaning the before text and then pasting this. And for further in index.css, just copy this and here index.css, paste and save. And then we should restart our server to assure the Tailwind CSS is installed correctly. So I am just killing all my running servers like this and then making a new instance. So here we can see our text style is changed with the default text style of Tailwind CSS. So it means it's working fine. Let's go to the app.js and start our work. Inside the src, I am making another folder named components like this, and inside the components I am making my first component with the name header.jsx like this, and let's start it by rfce and just import this header.jsx in app.js. So remove the I am here and say header. It will auto suggest you, so it will also auto import the component. Let's save. Okay, here we have the output header. So just remove this, and also I'm closing this so our text will more clear like this. I'm making a div with the name header. Okay, first of all we will have the logo of our music app. So I am making an image tag like this, and for its source I am copying a path like this. I will provide all these images for this landing page inside the directory and upload it to the GitHub. Here we have all the images inside the image folder. Okay, basically it will be the assets of our landing page. So close this. On next we will have a center menu in our header. So for now just leave this, and at last we have buttons for login and sign up. So I am calling it as buttons. The first sign up button like this, and similarly the login button like this. Now let's make a component of center menu. Here inside the component I am making an other file with the name center menu.jsx. here RFCE like this, and just remove this. Okay, let's make a div and name it as menu. I will make it display flex. Remember this, we are using the Tailwind CSS, so we can use all our CSS properties in the class name. When we hover any of the property, it will display the corresponding CSS. So let's move on. Inside this div, I am making an unordered list like this, and it will have some items. So the very first will be the home, and similarly just paste it. Okay, now the second one will be about, third one performer, the fourth one will be event schedule like this, and just delete the extra list items. Okay, it's time to style them. But before styling, let's see the output. And of course, we have to import the center menu in header. So I'm doing it by auto suggesting of VS Code like this. Let's save all of our stuff and see the results. Okay. Here we have the logo and home, about, performer, basically all the list items, and then sign up and login button. Now just style them. First of all, I am making the UL with display flex, width 100% and justify between. So let's see. Okay, as you can see, now we have list items all around the width of our screen. To fix this, we have to style header first. First, let's turn on the word wrap so we can see whole text on the screen. Okay, now for the header, I am making its background like this color. You can just copy and paste it, and its display flex, items in the center, and justify between. So it will just occupy the whole space, and then the padding on x-axis will be 5 rem, and padding from the top will be 2.4 rem, and the text size will be 0.8 rem. I should comment the code. So here I will say logo, and this will be the side menu, and the third one will be definitely buttons. For the image, I am giving it a class name of logo with the width of 42 pixels, and the height is also 42 pixels. So this image will be in a square. And for the buttons, I am making them display flex. So let's see. Okay, here you can see we have the background color of our header, but due to the background color we cannot see our text. To make text white all around our app, I am changing its color in app.js. So in app.js I am making text as white, so all the text will have default color of white, and we should also make the overflow hidden. So it's a good practice, nothing will be outside the most parent or the app div. So let's save and see. Now the text is visible. Let's give some spacing between the list items. So I am going to center menu, and here I am defining a style and name it as const list style, basically like this, and definitely it will be a string with the margin right of 3 rem, and on hover its cursor will be like the pointer, and I'll just simply copy this, basically not this. First of all, make this class name as li style, and copy this whole for each list item. Here you can use this multi cursor functionality by holding the alt key and just paste it like this. And why there is just li, it should be like this. Let's see. Okay, and the other thing is that because this is a variable, so it should not be under these quotations, it should be under the curly braces. So here first curly braces, and here is the second. Now you can access this variable here. Let's see the results. Okay, our menu is now have space in between. Let's style the sign up and login button. So inside the header, on the top, I am making similarly an other variable, or you can say it as constant, with the name button style, with the border of 2 pixels and border radius of 10 pixels, and the border color should be like something this, and on the x-axis it will have the padding of 25 pixels, and on the y-axis it will have the padding of 7 pixels. Let's make it available for both of our buttons. So just hold down the alt key and use multi cursor class name and curly braces button style like this. Okay, let's save and see. Here you can see the styling is applied for both, but we should have the different styling for both the buttons. So for this purpose, for the login button, inside the backticks, I am making its margin right of 35 pixels like this, and on hover I am saying its background color is something like this. Don't forget to put them under the square bracket because these are not the utility classes of Tailwind CSS. Okay, and I think so on hover the background color of sign up button should also be same. Okay, I have formatted the code so now it is readable again like this. Let's see. Okay, this is not working quite good, so I'll say not on hover, it will have default color of this. Okay, here you are seeing the background color of sign up is changed, but the login button having some bugs. So let's see. Okay, here there should be a space, so it will consider the button style classes as the other classes. Now let's see. Okay, both buttons are now working correctly. Let's move on to the hero section. For this, I am making an other file inside the components with the name of hero.jsx, again rfce. Okay, and then remove this. Okay, I am making first class as the wrapper around the hero section, and then it will have a left side like this, and for this I will make a left side class of headings like this, and of course after this we have a right side. So for the right side again I am making a div with a class of images. Okay, now for the wrapper I am giving it some styling. I am making its background color like this with the display flags, items at the center, and of course justify between, so it will cover the whole width, and the padding on the x-axis will be 5 rem, the bottom border radius will be 5 rem, and its width will be 100%, height of 35 rem, and it will have a position relative. So let's save, and here I am saying left side, and similarly here images. Let's see. Okay, we forget to import this in the app.js, so below the header we will have the hero section like this. Now let's see, there is the left side and this is the right side, and the border radius of bottom corners is large. Now for the left side that we have called as the side of headings, inside this div I am making a span, and for this span I am writing our text like experience D, and similarly I am making an other span, just copy and paste it like this. Okay, I should also format the code, and I will make the text inside the bold characters or the bold tags, and the text will be something like best quality music. Okay, like this, and similarly I have some other spans. Here you can see these are that spans. This is basically some styling of text means its font size will be 15 pixels and its font color will be something like gray. Okay, let's save and see the results. So this is the output. Let's style these headings. For these stylings, I'm saying the display flex and the flex direction of column with the items aligned at the start of the div and justified at the center with the height 100% of the parent hero section and the text size of 3 rem. Let's save and see. Okay, so this is the final output. Now below these spans, I am making another section and calling it as download ads and making a div for that, writing a span with the text size of almost 13 pixels like this. Download now on iOS and Android, and then I have two tags, one for the Google Play and other for the Apple. So for these tags, I am just making another reusable component. Basically, whenever I am making a reusable component, means it is using in the landing page at least 2 times. So let's create this. Here I am making a download ads.jsx and rfc like this, remove this, and then make a new div with the class name of download like this, and then I'm making another div with the class name of download images like this, and then inside the download images I am just pasting URLs like this is the first image of Apple Store and this is the Google Play Store. So let's save and see, and in the hero section we should import the download ads like this. Now let's see. Okay, here we have both the images of Apple Store and Google Play. Let's style them. Here I will make the download images as display flex, so both the images be in the row direction. And then now for both of the images I am making some styling. So let's make a class name, and inside the curly braces I will write download image style. Okay, like this. Now let's make this constant. So here I will say download image style like this, and it will be a string. So I will say make its border of 2 pixels and the border color like this with the roundness or the border radius of 13 pixels, and I should turn on the word wrap like this. So the other property is height of 3 rem and the width of 10 rem. Now let's see the results. Okay, this is the final result, but still they are not in the row direction. Okay, here we should make display flex like this. Now they are in row direction, but there should be some spacing. So for the first item here inside the backticks, I will say margin right of 2 rem will be enough. So let's see. Okay, it is not applied because we have not given the space here like this. Now it is working fine. So our next task is the right side or the image side. So let's move on. Inside the hero.js and to the right side, let's remove this images text. And again, I will just paste the URL or some images from our directory. Let's do this. This is our first image, then the second, third. Okay. Okay, let's see. Here we have these images. It's time to align them in a proper manner. So I will just give them some styling. So for the first image, I am making its position absolute and the top of -8 rem. So it will have the distance of 8 rem from the top, and from the left it will have 19 rem distance like this. But let's just style all of the images. So for the second image, I am saying its class like the position absolute, and I have calculated these values by playing all around the screen. So I feel these values are perfect. You can change them as you want. And similarly for the third image, like this, the fourth image will have this position on the hero section, and the final fifth image will have position something like this. These classes are very simple, or the very simple utility classes of Tailwind CSS. We have just defined the left, top, and the height of each image. So let's see the results. Okay, here you have the results. But to use these absolutes value, we should make the parent class images as the relative, like this. And also I will prefer to make its width 50% of the total hero section, like this. Now let's see. Okay, we have all of the images at the correct position. This reason I am making another file inside the components and naming it as experience.jsx, like this, and calling it as rfce. Okay, now just remove this div. Here I am making a div and name it as experience section. Okay, inside this, first of all, I will just have a image like this, and let's comment this as tilde icon. Okay, as you can see, here we have our tilde icon png. Now let's style. For the experience section, I am making it display flex direction of column, items at the center, and just close this. And similarly justified at the start with the padding on the x-axis of 5 rem, background color something like this between blue and black, height of 60 rem, padding top 18 rem, margin top minus 10 rem, position relative, and the z index of 2. And finally I am making its border radius from the bottom of 5 rem. Now let's see the results. Okay, here we have the results. You can see here I have written z index 2, and for the hero section I have made its z index 3. So now the hero section will always on the top of the experience section. Let's move on. Now I will make heading, and for the heading making a class margin top of 7, flex display flex column, items at the center, and text of 2, like this. Okay, now inside this div, first of all I am making a span, and inside this similarly another span with some bold text of music experience. Let's save and see. Okay, here we have our both the headings. Now let's move on. Our other section will be the features section. So for this I am making a div with the class name of features, and inside this I am making a reusable component named feature and provided two parameters. First parameter will be the name of png. So group 2 is one of the pngs we have inside the image directory. Here you can see we have group 2 png, like this. Okay, we just name it as the icon name, and the other one will be the title of the feature. So for the first feature will be the for live music, like this. Okay, let's close. Similarly I will have an other feature like this, and the third one and the last one like this. Let's format this. Now I have to make a file for the feature. So inside the same components I am making feature.jsx rfce, like this. Let's remove this. Okay, now making a div with the name feature. First of all, this feature will have an icon like this. So I am making a div for the icon, and inside this div there will be the icon like this. Okay, as you can see here I am using the icon prop, so I should receive it like this. Basically this is the directory path, and inside the directory path I have just written my icon or the parameter, so it will be dynamic for each image. Now let's format this code. Okay. After this, I will have a span like this, and span is also using a parameter, so I should also receive this like this. Okay, let's save, and here I should import the feature. So this is the feature, and as you can see inside the app.js, I have imported this experience section also. So let's save and see. Okay, these are all our three icons. It's time to style them. For this reason, I am making these features inside a display flex items at the center, justify around so it will have space around the screen, and margin top of 6 rem, width of 100%. Let's save and see. Okay, now they are in horizontal position. Further, inside the feature.jsx, I am giving another span for some detail of our feature like this. This is basically a random text. You can write anything you want, and I have just given a text color and the margin top of 4. Very simple stuff. And on the last, I am making a span for the learn more link like this, and for this I am also giving it some styling. First of all, the text color something like pink, and the text decoration underline margin top of 3 rem, and on hover the cursor will be like the pointer. Let's see, format the code and now see the results. Okay, this is the result, but not in the correct way. So what should can we do? We should style the feature. First of all, making it display flex items in the center, justify center flex column, means flex direction in column, and the position relative, and text in the center of div, and margin x or the horizontal margin of 12. You can hover and see margin 12 will give the margin left of 3 rem and right of 3 rem. Let's save and see. Okay, now the other thing we can do, we can give a background color for each image. For this reason, I am giving a background color like this of a kind of blue color, and the border radius of double XL and the padding of 4. Let's save and see. Okay, now our experience section is complete. Let's move on. For the next component, I am making a search component, means it will be the search section of our landing page, and RFCE like this. And now just remove this and make it your own div dot search section. Okay, this section will also have two sides. First will be the left side like this, and it will be a div with the class name of left, similarly and other div with the class name of right div like this. Okay, now I should also comment this, so here I will write right side and format the code. Okay, now for the left side I will have some images that I have inside the image directory or the image folder, so let's just import them. Okay, this is the first image. For the fast tutorial, I am just copy and pasting, so you can see their class name does not have any specialty. They are just their positioning elements like top, left, and sometime it will be the width. So let's move on to the second image, the third one, and the fourth one. Okay, and the least is the fifth one like this. Let's save this and see the results. Okay, before seeing the results, we should import this in app.js. So here I'm saying search like this, and let's save and now see. As you can see, there is nothing to display for the search section because we have not make the parent div as the position relative. So instead of giving the left side position relative, I will make my whole div as the position relative like this, and I will also give it some height of around 65 rem like this. Now let's see. Okay, here we have the images and the height of the parent is the 65 rem. I will also give its padding toward the x-axis of around 5 rem like this. Okay, First of all, just complete its all styling. For more, I am giving it a background color like this. Padding top 18 rem, padding bottom 10 rem, margin top minus 15 and the z index value of 1. So it will always below our experience section, as our experience section has the z index of 2 and the search has z index of 1. So it will be below the experience section. For more, display flex items at the center, justify between, and the bottom radius will be the 5 rem. Now let's save and see. Okay, here we have our search section and almost our left side is complete. It's time to work with the right side. So for the right side, I'm making a div and giving it a class name of flex, and inside this I'm making an other div for our search input like this, or as we have used the search first of all, so we should make it as search bar or the input bar, anything you can say. And then I will make an input like this. Okay, then I am specifying some parameters like placeholder will be the enter the keyword or url like this. Okay, we should also comment our code so it will be more readable. So here is the search bar and this is the right side. Okay, below this input text I am making an other div like this for the search icon, and I will say it as search icon like this, and inside this I will have an image. For this image I am just giving a path like this. Okay, there is some problem, this should be one time. Okay, like this, and then I will also give it some width. So for the width I am making 1.5 rem like this. Now let's save and see the results by formatting the code first. Okay, here we have our search bar. It's time to style all of this stuff first. So first of all, make it as display flex, and again the basic stuff with the flex direction of column and the centering all the contents and the flex value of 1 and the height of 100%. Flex value 1 means it will always take half of the parent div, and height of 100% and the padding top of 9 rem. Okay, now just save. Let's see. Okay, I think that we don't need this div. This is just playing an extra. So this is closing div. I will delete this, and from here I will also delete this. Now let's save, and still we are unable to see, but we will fix it by styling the search bar. For the search bar, similarly display flex justify start and the width of 100%. Okay, now the basic problem is that we have not given the flex 1 to the left side. So when I give it flex 1, so now you can see our search bar and the search icon is appeared now. Okay, why this opened? Okay, now let's move on from the right side. For the input I am giving it some styling. Okay, I am giving it a flex value of 19, so it will cover a lot of space. Outline none, so nothing will be shown as border when we writing inside this bar. Background color like this, and the rounded excel, padding of 3 and the height of 3 rem. Now let's save and see. Okay, here is our final search bar. It's time to style this icon. Let's first comment out so it will be more readable. Okay, here search icon like this. Now it's time to give it some. Okay, make it display flex value of 1, as it have flex value of 1 and it is flex value of 19, so it will definitely take a lot of space as input. And then item center, rounded excel, and the all the basic stuff. But inside this basic stuff we have background color in gradient from bottom to left, and the first color is this something like red, and to the this color something like purple, and now padding of 4, and again the basic stuff. Now let's save and I should comment out so it will be more readable and not look too much complicated. Okay, search icon like this. Now see, here we have our search icon very beautifully rendered. It's time to import another tilde icon. For this, below this div, which is basically our search div, okay, below this I am making a tilde icon, or the you can say just simply the png, as we have already imported our tilde in the experience section, so I will not go into detail again. I am just simply copy and pasting like this, as we have just simply imported like before, and then we will write a paragraph below this tilde icon. So for this paragraph, again I have just copy and pasted because we have already written the text before. So this simple stuff, search music by, and then again inside bold, and the very basic stuff you can easily understand is. Let's see the results. Okay, here we have all our text and the tilde icon. It's time to make a music player below this. Below this div, I am making a music player. Okay, and I'm simply just writing music player. Okay, for this music player I have to make a file inside the component and name it as musicplayer.jsx rfce. Okay, let's remove this and make it by on div.music player like this. It will have two parts. First part will be the upper part and second one will be the lower part like this. Let's start by writing in upper part. Okay, inside this first of all I have to make a profile image or the profile section. So div dot profile, and first of all we will have an image, and I am just simply, instead of writing this, I am writing this. Again, I will not explain it one by one. It's a very basic stuff. You can see the flex and the directions with the paddings, width, border, and the border color with the y-axis padding and the background color and the border radius with the top margin. Okay, let's save and see. Here we have the exact boundary of our music player. Now move on. I should make this profile div as flex, and below the image I am making an other div for the details. Inside details I have first span with the song name or the track name, and the second one is the artist name. Okay, let's save and see. Here we have both things, as we have display flex, so they are in the horizontal direction. Let's make it flex and flex direction of column with the margin left of 4. Now it will be more right. It's time to make some menu icon. So for this I'm making a div and making an image of menu icon. Again, just copy and pasting a basic stuff like this. This is basically a png of menu icon, and I have given it a height of 1 rem inside the individual div. So let's see. Okay, here we have our icon. To make it in the correct position I have to style the upper part. So for the upper part I will make it flex items center and justify between. Now it will be in the most right side like this. Okay, our upper part is completed. It's time to move on the lower part. So where is our lower part? This is the lower part. I should comment this. Again, making a div for the track, and inside this track first of all I have the span for the time of our track or the running time, and then I will have the image or the png like this. This is the png of a running track. You can see it easily. Here is the time, and this is the running track image. Okay, at the last I have the ending track limit like this. Now it will be more making sense. You can clearly idea we have to make it display flex so they will be in correct positions. Again, we have very basic stuff like this flex justify between text small and the text color and with the flex value of 2. Now let's see. Okay, it's looking very good now. The other thing we want is to show the controllers like pause, next track, previous track. So for this, below this track part, I'm making a controls part like this. Okay, again a div with the name of control. I am copying a SVG for the previous track and making it complete like this. Okay, let's format this like this. Okay, this is basically a previous track arrow. You can say that previous arrow like this, and then the pause button. For the pause button, again I have the SVG path like this. Okay, now below this I have to make a right arrow, or you can say the next track arrow. Okay, just copy and pasting the simple stuff. Okay, let's save this and see. Yes, here I have the next, previous and the pause button. Okay, it's time to style the parent div. Okay, here for the controls, just like this, I'm making it flex 1 with the display flex items in the center and justify around, so it will have the space around their div. Okay, still they are not working very fine. Okay, I found it the problem. The problem is that we have made the next arrow inside the div of pause button. So I will just control X this from here and paste it like here. Let's move. Okay, let's save and hope for the best now. Okay, now they are all in their correct position. It's time to make the download section. Okay, so here I will make a section named download.jsx and rfce. Okay, this time I'm just simply copy and pasting the whole stuff because now we are used to this work, and you can see I have not done any too much complicated in this. The main point is that here the z index is 0, so it will be below the search part section, and then I have a tilde icon image and then the heading, or you can say the simply the text. And the other thing to note is that here I have imported the download as reusable component, so it will just simply import both of the stickers of Google Play Store and Apple App Store here. So I'm just make it correct. Okay, now just import this download section in app.jsx. So where is app dot, sorry, gsx is js. Okay, here download like this, download, let's save and now see. Okay, here you can see this is our download section, and it is the very basic stuff. You don't need any more tutorial to follow this. And let's move on to the very last part of this tutorial, footer.jsx. The last part means after this we will add animations for all the images on scrolling, but first let's complete this rfce and the footer. And now for the footer I am making a div with the class name of footer. First of all, the footer will have the center menu that we have built as the reusable component. So let, okay, for some reason it's not suggesting me. Let's try again. Center, okay, center menu. Okay, it's not giving me the result, so I will just import it from the header. Okay, header, I have the center menu. sorry, center menu, and inside the footer just import this like this. Okay, now after this center menu I have social icons like this, and social icons will be in div flex. Okay, after this its width will be 100%. The basic styling is still continue, and they justify the center and the margin top of 14 like this. Okay, here for the social icons I am using a library material UI icons. You can simply install them by open a new terminal and write npm I at the rate material UI and then slash core and then at the rate material UI icons. Let's just install them. Okay, our dependency is installed completely. Now we can use the material UI icons, and to use them, I am first of all importing some icons from the material UI icons library, and now we are ready to go. Div.facebook like this. Okay, inside this I will use the Facebook icon like this, and then I will just simply copy and paste it. Okay, the next icon will be the Twitter. Okay, the third one will be the YouTube, and the fourth one will be the LinkedIn like this. Let's format the code. Okay, why YouTube is still giving us the error? Because the T is in capital case and this is the correct. Now let's see the results. Okay, of course, every time I forget it to import this in app.js. So here app.js, and then the footer section or by the auto suggestion. So okay, basically I should first of all give some height to the footer, and also I am doing all this stuff in one line. So you can see this line here as this. Okay, for the footer I have make it as display flex, and the flex direction column item center justify start, and same padding of 5 rem, background color, height, padding from top, margin from top, position relative, so we can style the center menu and the social icons accordingly, and the z index of -1, so it will below all the other stuff on the screen. So now let's see. Okay, here we have the footer, and these are the icons from the material UI library, and this is the central menu. Now after these icons I have to make a div for the detail, and div dot details like this, and I am just copying and pasting some simple stuff inside this like this. Okay, let's save and see. Here we have the detail section. This class name is not making any sense, so just leave it like this. Okay, our next task is to style these material UI icon. So for this thing I am just control D all of this and remove. Okay, sorry, we can just do this right now, and I am making a constant with the name of social style. So here above all const social style like this, and of course it will be a string with the rounded full and the border of 2 pixel and the border of white color and the padding of 2 and the margin right of 5 rem like this. Now let's save and ready to go. So now our static website is now completed. Our next task to add animations on scrolling for these images and these stuffs and this hero image. So let's do that. So now we are going to add animations on scrolling for this landing page. And for this purpose, I am opening another terminal like this and installing npmi framer motion library. Okay, here it is installed now. The second one is npmi and react visibility, npmi react visibility sensor. So this will take care of the visibility of the any component. So whenever we will scroll, when the component will go away from the screen or out of the screen, it will animate to its original position, and when it comes to the view, it will animate to some different points. Let's use them. First of all, here in the hero section, I'm making a use state const element visible and set element is visible like this, and use state, and inside this I am writing false like this. Let's first of all import the use state, so making it inside curly braces and here writing use state like this. Okay, our next task is to import the visibility sensor from the recently installed library like this. So now I will make the our whole hero section inside the visibility sensor. Okay, like this, and let's close this and just like this. Okay, let's see what's the error here. Okay, on next I am defining a function on change. So basically visibility sensor returns us a true or false value depending on the view of component that it inherits. So when the component in view, it will return us the true, and when it is not in view, it will return us false, and the variable it is for returning values is visible like this. Okay, so I am going to use this for my use state function. Set element is visible and then is visible. So it will basically just take the value from the visibility sensor return function and set our element is visible value to this. Now format the code. The other parameter I'm going to use for the visibility sensor is min top value, and for this I am saying just that 300 pixels will be enough. So the meaning of minimum top value is equal to 300 pixel is that it is saying the minimum content or the minimum appearance of the component should be 300 pixels to return is visible as true. Let's repeat. The minimum width or the minimum view of the component that inherits the visibility sensor should be 300 pixels so it returns is visible variable as true. I hope you understand. Let's move to the animation part. For the animation part, first of all, for this background image, I am making it as motion.img. Okay, and for use this motion, we should import this from the framer motion library. Import motion from framer motion like this. Okay, now we can use this safely. And I am making its transition with the duration of 1 and the type is like ease out. Okay, format this. Now for the same image I am going to make its variants, and for its variants here I am saying const background variants, and this will be a JavaScript object. And here I am saying when the element is visible or the return value is true, so make it from left around 7 rem like this, and when it is not in view, then this should be false, not flash. Okay, and when it is not in view, the left value should be 19 rem like this, and here should be a colon. Okay, Now to use this bg, here I am saying the variance for this equal to bg, and the last task is to set up its animation triggers. So here I will say animate on element is visible. So whenever element is visible changes its value, which in turn depends on the is visible value. So whenever it's true, our variant will take the true value, and otherwise it will take the false value. So it will change its left position. So I can do the similar stuff with the other images in the hero section. So I'm not going to in detail again and again because this is going to be similar stuff for all the other images. I'm just fast forwarding the video, and you can see this code from the description link. Okay, so here all the animation stuff for the hero section is complete, and we are ready to see the results. Okay, let's reload the page, and you can see the mobile mockup is animating, and when I scroll down it is moving to its original position, and when I scrolls up now it changes its position. So you can see how easily we have produced this effect by using visibility in React and the framer motion. So similar stuff I am going to do with for live music, for daily music, and for artist divs, and similar for the search part of our landing page for this mockup. Now let's again in the experience section I am doing the same stuff. Okay, as we can see that the feature is another reusable component, so we should move on to the feature. And now here for the features, first of all I am making its two variants like this, and before doing anything we should first import the libraries like this, then the variants, and now the use state element as we did before like this, and then the visibility sensor. Okay, so here just like this, I should remove this extra. Okay, as you can see here I have commented out the minimum top value because I don't want to set any minimum top value for this features section. This should be on the 100% view animate. Okay, let's see why it is giving error, because we have not closed its tag. Now I am sure it will not give any error. Okay, we have to animate this image, so just simply make it as motion.image, and then as we have created our variants on the upper side, let's copy and paste it here. And I think so it's better if we do this with the div instead of image, because image lies inside this parent div. So I am making it as motion.div and cut all these values of animations from here and paste them like this. Let's format the code. Here I will explain the variants. Okay, in variants I am saying when the element is visible true, it should transform, and in transforming the image will scale up to the 1, and when it is false the image will scale down to the 0.5. So let's see it in action. Okay, here we have not imported the use state, so just import it. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, you see the images and their parent divs are scaling up and scaling down very smoothly on scrolling. So we have produced this fact. Now for this section. Okay, so here for the search, I have did the same stuff, and the typical point is that now the visibility sensor is not above or the top of the most parent class. I have made it above the music player because I want this specific point to trigger the animation when the music player is visible, and similar stuff for the animations in the images like they are just moving or changing their left values. So let's see the result. Okay, refresh the page again, so we assure the animations are working. Okay, okay, this is not working. Let's see why. Okay, okay, here I forgot to make all of them as motion dot image. So here I should make all of them as motion dot image. So I am saying it as motion dot image. Now, okay, now let's hope the app is working fine. Let's refresh the page. Okay, now you can see we are noticing a little bit of animation. Okay, okay, and here this page is also moving very correctly. You can see this mockup is sliding its element on left and right, on sliding up and down. So that's all about today's tutorial. I hope you like this landing page. So don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and share button so it will support my channel. Stay tuned until the another amazing video. Goodbye.